Okay, so I'm sitting here, you know, looking at the load board. I have it open, you know, and to be honest, not much is going on. Very few loads, nothing really interesting for cars. And I'm still, actually, look, I'm still here, you know. Look, see, I literally haven't moved since the last video. This video right here that I'm talking about, where they fell off that, where they dropped the freight. Look right here, I can show you. Can you see the ramp right there in the picture? There maybe, can you see that? Anyways, long story short is I'm still sitting here. And so this load pops out. It's Monroe, North Carolina to Cannon, Connecticut. It's an excavator boom that's 288 by 48 by 72. Which, hold on, 288 by 48. I got to keep in mind that well, right? Because I have the thing. And so I have to fit between my fenders, right? And so this thing is only 48 wide. Long, wide, tall, hopefully. Unless it's 72 wide. Then that would be bad. But anyway, so 288 by 48, so I call on it. He's paid on the board, it was 600 bucks. I told them, like, bro, I need $1 a mile because you're taking up more than half the trailer. He's like, oh, well, on a 48 it would be, you know. So anyways, he came up 750, whatever, good enough. I don't care. That's not like, I don't care about these like small tack-on partials because I got to go deliver this pallet, which is $1,400. So I'm sitting here waiting for this rate confirmation to come in, and I still have the board open. The rate con still hasn't come in. I'm still waiting. I'm gonna call him right now, make sure he's still good to go. And another load pops up, Taylorsville, North Carolina to Gardner, Maine. Okay, and that's 1,100 bucks, but check it out. It's 22 feet long, it's 3 feet wide, and 3 feet tall. We got ourselves a little problem now. We're just gonna have to stack it something like, we'll figure out to make it work. If both of these pieces come in, then we'll have to figure out a way to stack it. But if they don't, then we won't. Long story short is I'm still sitting here, still haven't moved, still waiting, but I'm booking some freight. Oh, by the way, I was sitting here looking for my driver, right? Because I still have to cover him as well, right? He's in Arizona right now doing a couple of deliveries, and so I ended up calling on these two vehicles going to Texas for like $1,100, which is cheap, don't get me wrong, but I have some customer loads to pick up in Texas. So that's gonna be a good load that he can go pick up right away. But then I realized it's Arizona, it's like 7 a.m. over there. And so it's like, it's almost 11 o'clock over here. And I'm like, oh dude, you haven't even delivered yet? I'm like, oh wait, yeah, duh, it's 7 a.m. You know, that's the dispatching on the West Coast. That's what happens when you're on the East Coast, but you're dispatching trucks on the West. Anyways, goodness gracious. Well, welcome back to the vlog. You know, we're trying to make this work, trying to make this delivery happen, and seeing what we could do revenue-wise for the week. Okay, so all is good in the neighborhood. Okay, let me get you up to speed. Both rate confirmations came in. That's a thumbs up. Okay, just like that, it's loaded. The guy said he's gonna build me a stand of some sort. I'm not sure what it's gonna be. Yeah, I moved the pallet over just enough. Right here, they put some carpet right here. And you see how I did the carpet like up against the pallet as well, so that it doesn't scratch anywhere. Here's the one strap, doesn't touch anything. And the first strap right here, boom, good to go, and before the thing anyway. So here's the stand that the guy built. They screwed it into the deck, and these two are screwed in, so I'll just throw a strap right quick over that, and then I'll throw a strap right quick over this, and then I gotta hit the road because the other place is like 45 minutes away and they closed in like an hour and a half. So yeah, no more time wasting, okay? Enough vlogging, let's get to actual work. All right, well, we're here in the graveyard of like excavators and stuff like that. Look at all this stuff. Wow, that's nuts. Very cool place. Anyways, this right here is what we're picking up. The guy just said that he weighed the thing, put it on the scale, and it actually weighs 6,300 pounds. So that's kind of nice. But dude, this thing is a fatty. It's huge. You know what I mean? It's kind of a little bit worrisome. We're gonna put the new trailer to work. Speaking of which, that trailer is already pissing me off, and it's for sale. If you want yourself a nice trailer, mint condition, barely used, you can have it. It's for sale. Just kidding, kind of, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But here's the plan. My plan is, you see how it's curving this way right now? The plan is to have them flip it over and lay it on the other side so it curves the other way. And what we're gonna do is put it right here. And I just measured it. So we're gonna put it, okay, here, like this. Okay, so you can see right here on my trailer, it's gonna start over here and it's gonna curve like that. And I just measured in between these, right here, in between this cross and the wheel well, I have over 4 feet. And that thing, even at its thickest point, is only 3.5. So it'll start right here somewhere, right here, and it'll curve, get to the widest point, and then back over there. And then I also measured from the widest point, which I want to land right here, back, it's only 12 feet, and I have like 15. So hopefully it'll land somewhere right here. It'll end right in this area. Because at the end of the day, I don't have a lot of tongue weight with these 2 loads. And so that's the concern, is the tongue weight. I don't want too much weight past my axle. So I'm gonna set you guys up. Here he is. This is what he's gonna use to load me. So I'm gonna set you guys up. Let's watch this thing and how it gets loaded. Dude, you guys, look at that, man. That fit really well. Look at that. Doesn't stick out here. Doesn't stick out over there. It got a little bit of dirt on the steeple. Lord forgive me. So we'll just have to quickly blow that off. Hold on. Like, it was just a little bit from the forklift or whatever. There it goes. Look at that. Didn't even have to, I don't want to touch it because I don't want to scratch it, you know what I mean? But yeah, okay, cool. All right, now comes the time to strap her down. Now look, you guys might be wondering, Alex, why didn't you just stand it up? It would have been so much easier. And you'd be correct, right? The problem is, this is a new trailer. I don't have any chains. I know, rookie mistake. So if I stood it up, I would definitely have to use chains. But because it's laid down like this, I can get away with straps on this thing. All right, so here it is, it's done. Okay, so here's what we did. We got 1 strap, 2 straps, 3. This one's holding onto the fender. I don't know if that one's doing anything. 4.5. That 4.5. You know, honestly, I didn't think this fender thing would be in the way, but I'm just realizing it's actually in the way. So this thing sucks. But as you can see, we had to switch up the steeple on that side right there. Okay, look. So as you can see, here's what we had to do. So I took my toolbox. It's empty. I was gonna switch out my metal one, but I took this toolbox because what happened is the straps would hit on this thing, right? You see how right here, they're even kind of close right here. Look, oh, right there. You see that? You know, right there, about an inch or so. So, but that's with this thing lifted up. Imagine when this thing was on that stand or whatever, you know, definitely didn't work. So I will pay attention to this one. If not, I'll just move it back like here, right here. I'll move it back a little bit.
Right here, I delivered that pallet, and what happened was they actually just came out with a couple of guys and carried the pallet. It was literally 100 pounds. It was just like some grading, and they just came and grabbed it, and I didn't even have time to record it because they were so quick. This is apparently a new Amazon building up here in Massachusetts, so it was a really quick delivery, really cool to get it done and get it off the trailer.
Okay, so we delivered that Massachusetts load, that pallet that I picked up in Fort Worth, right? That was the 2-part. So that was $1,700. So I factored that one. So that one's good to go. But then I was like on the board, and I'm like looking on the board, and I see something come up from Rhode Island, which I think when I routed it was like 55 miles away or something like that. So really good. And it's going to Maine along with my steeple that's also going to Maine. And the lady was at first, the broker was paying $900. But I told her, I'm like, if it's a military load, you know what I mean? I gotta lose 4 hours on pickup, 4 hours on delivery. And so I told her, I'm like, hey, it's gonna take me a lot of time on pickup and delivery. It's not worth it for 900 bucks. So she's like, okay, well, I'll do 1,000 on it if you want to do instead 900. So I'm like, all right, 1,000 bucks, that makes a little more sense. I'll take it. So now we got this steeple, okay, which I picked up in North Carolina paying $1,100, and now we got this pallet or crate or something. They're in there looking for it. I'm gonna back in when they're ready. And now we got this crate paying $1,000. And so from North Carolina to, okay, so we did the excavator arm or whatever, or boom or whatever that thing was. We did that thing for $750, which we delivered that first, right? Man, what a scary delivery that was. But so $750 plus $1,100 plus $1,000, that's now $2,100 plus $750. And you could basically say from North Carolina to Connecticut to Massachusetts, drop down to Rhode Island to Maine. So it's like, hold on, man, 21 plus 750, so that's $2,850 for on this short little run. And it's like, think about this, the long haul that I took from Fort Worth, Texas, that's where I picked it up, right, to Virginia all the way up to Massachusetts was only paying $3,100. And it's like, my short runs from North Carolina to Maine, these short runs are paying $2,850, and basically my Texas all the way to the Northeast was only paying $31. And it's like, dang, you know, this is why shorter runs make sometimes a little more sense, because you can lock down a couple of good loads occasionally. So so I just thought that was really interesting. So let's pick this thing up. And just like that, I am here. It's some kind of base or something, so I don't even know if I should be recording. Anyways, we're in full send it mode today with the vlog, but regardless, so here it is. Here's the load, all tarped. Goodness gracious, what a broker didn't tell me it needed a tarp, but that's okay. She came up money wise for me anyway, so whatever, I can't complain too much. So right now it says there's the door right there, trucker entrance, something like that, but you know, we gotta go in there and get checked in and then get unloaded. So I'm gonna set you up here in like 5 seconds and then wow, well, good thing I made it just in time, because you know, I pulled up and everyone's leaving and getting ready to go home, and I'm like, hold the phone. So actually these two pieces are going to a different warehouse, and they're gonna unload them up at the other warehouse. So I just untarped it and now I'm going to a different warehouse. But here's the crazy part, okay? The crazy part is both of these pieces, okay, or each piece, each crate is worth $3.5 million. Like on the paperwork it says 3.6 something, right? But call it $3.5 million. And the even crazier part, right? So this is government, it's military or whatever, armed forces freight, right? So that's the crazy part. It's $3.5 million. I only have $100,000 worth of cargo. But here's the crazier part. We're talking about government waste, okay? And as a matter of fact, the guy tells me, right, the guy that's gonna unload me here in like 2 seconds, stop beeping, I'm talking. He says that the ship is done. This is supposed to go on the military ship, and the ship is totally done. And actually they're gonna be selling, or they're gonna be trying to sell these two parts to try to recuperate some of their expenses. So yeah, that's our tax dollars, just literally $3.5 million a crate. That's $7 million on my trailer right now. And not only that, it's just for nothing because the ship is done. So it's like, wow, bro, this is ridiculous. So anyways, we just pulled up, literally I couldn't even finish my sentence, and it's like literally a quarter mile around the warehouse, the other piece. Okay, so he's directing me where to park. All right, so here's a time lapse of me unloading them actually. look at that. We're unloaded. Everything's good. Everybody's happy. There's no damage on anything, and so let's start looking for a cheap backhaul back to Texas, because I want to go home. Okay, so I unloaded, got the paperwork signed. Apparently that was a COD. I wasn't even expecting that, so the church handed me $1,200 cash. You know, I would go to church all the time if they handed me $1,200 cash all the time. Anyways, okay, what I was trying to explain was, okay, I remembered what it is. So deadhead, where it's going, so location or price, right? Pick two, right? That's usually how it goes. And so I'm okay with taking something cheap that's not going where I want, right? So cheap, but not going where I want, as long as there's very little deadhead, right? And unfortunately, because I'm in Maine, that I'm automatically, one of the options is selected, deadhead, right? So now it's a matter of where it's going or how much it's paying. That's it. So that's the one I gotta, and the problem is freight right now out of the Northeast, not super good, going everywhere but Texas. And I really want to try to go back to Texas. And even though freight that's not going to Texas, the freight going elsewhere is paying really cheap. And so it's like, hold on, if I'm gonna haul something cheap with a ton of deadhead, at least it better be back to Texas. So I can go home, you know? But anyway, so try to keep that in mind. I think that's like the cheap, good, or fast thing, you know, pick two, right? I think that's what it is, cheap, good, or fast, pick two, right? That business thing or whatever. And I think this is a situation. Deadhead, rate, or location, or where it's going, right? And so, yeah. I hope that makes sense. I think, kind of, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, I'm at the gas station right down the road from the church where I delivered. I was on the board looking at some loads. Then this like load to California popped up, full load, 2,800 pounds. I'm like, oh dude, I want it. And team required, so yeah. I'm no team, so I'm solo. So that wouldn't work. But one of the car loads that I was calling on actually called me back and said, hey Alex, we have those vehicles if you want them. And the vehicles are going from Pennsylvania to Texas. And so, yeah. So it looks like I'll be a 2-car hauler down to Texas. It's paying a good rate on the loaded miles, but not super good because I'm deadheading to Pennsylvania. Literally what I just explained, right? But it is going to Texas. So there's that. So it looks like I already signed the paperwork for the 2 vehicles. I already got it done. And vehicles, guys, don't forget, the benefit of vehicles is the weekend pickups, is the after hours pickups, right? Like businesses aren't like, dude, I barely made it to that one business, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, so that is one of the benefits of you know, cars, because customers are, you know, willing to usually stay later or pick up earlier or whatever, or receive them whenever. So that's gonna be the plan. I'm gonna go transport some cars. I'm gonna end it here though. I look forward to your comments down below. What do you guys think about this whole episode? I basically, so if we count this entire week, I think it was like just over $6,000 because I booked this it was 50-50, and then I booked this $1,000 load going to Maine. So it's $6,050. That's not bad. So that's pretty cool. And then these 2 vehicles that are paying pretty cheap. I don't even want to say it's so cheap. Sorry. Anyways, it's a good thing I loaded up my driver for pretty good. And neutralizes, cancels each other's out, okay? Anyways, I'm gonna go to the gas station, get some Gatorade and some water and some ice, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.